He's the shove-it man, oh he's the shove-it man. He's gonna shove it, yeah, he's gonna shove it, man.
Alright, welcome back to the worst weekly wrestling series. It's NwA TNA episode 73 and 74. I hate this show with all of my ass, and yet I'm being forced to watch this garbage. The only stars on the show talk about WCW constantly, whilst a bunch of random security teams fight for control of the company. The show starts with a triple threat. The notorious KID Kid Cash, which is a good thing because he's been a rare highlight on this show, and he seems to be facing Christopher Daniels, who is still sort of a preacher. Well, he has the attire at least, but the storyline went nowhere. The Warrior, Low Key, makes a rare TNA appearance. Hot match to start the show. They ain't hanging around or pissing about here. Daniels hits an early split-legged moonsault to Low Key on the outside. We're quickly back in the ring with Cash hitting a moonsault to Daniels' back. Somehow he isn't hurt and he's back to his feet seconds later. Cash and Daniels try to work together, which doesn't work as Low Key kicks them away. Daniels gets a couple of twos on the Warrior. Cash then reverses a last rights into a big shoulder breaker and tries to make Daniels tap out when Low Key double stomps Cash. That sets off Low Key, who nails a beautiful rolling kick and an enziguri kick. The nice moves keep coming in this match as Kid Cash hits a double springboard into a hurricanrana. Daniels quickly slams him and hits the BME, which surprisingly Cash can kick out of. The match slows down for a bit as all three fight on the top rope, ending with Daniels hitting a double fall from grace. Cash and Daniels try a double springboard into the ring, but they both miss Low Key and hit each other instead. Key dodges another moonsault as all three men are wiped out. Triple X briefly reform together to wipe out Cash with a springboard kick spinebuster. The former Triple X members then go back to fighting each other. Low Key tries some acrobatics at Daniels in the corner, who turns it into a short powerbomb with his feet on the ropes, but just a two. What a trade-off these two are having. Kid Cash has been gone a while. Low Key manages to hit the Key Crusher, and that's the three, whilst Kid Cash just stands on the outside like a dumbass. Cash is a bad loser and he throws a chair in his face. A good match, but I didn't like the finish. Just like every week, Kid Cash has trouble from black shirt security, but Don Harris is too slow and worthless to catch Kid Cash. In the back, Scott Hudson has AJ Styles. Tonight AJ faces Jarrett for the belt. He shoots back at his critics who say he isn't good enough to be in main events. Here come the new tag team champions, the Free Live Crew. They chat rubbish for ages before issuing an open challenge. Harris and Storm stomp out looking like heels. Moldog is sick of seeing them. Harris claims that they only won the belts because of AMW. He demands a title shot when randomly, a wild slapnuts appears.
Jeff Jarrett.
Slappy is apparently here to deliver news which will shake the wrestling world, but first he's looking to see who has his back. Harris tries to cut him off but gets called a jabroni. Kind of a lot of mic time here for Chris Harris. Harris responds calling Jarrett a disgrace and says they don't have his back. Jarrett calls them mid-carders. Jarrett turns his attention to the Free Live Crew. He brings up his history of each member and wants them to make a decision whether they're with him. Before they can answer that, they're interrupted by the gifted Glenn Gilberti. How is he gifted? Disco says he and David Young have Jarrett's back. The Diamond Man blames Disco and David Young for their tag title loss. This is a really bizarre segment because you have Jarrett doing deep interactions with people nowhere near him on the card. Jarrett demands a decision from the New York Nerds when they're interrupted by Eric Watts. Watts makes a three-way tag match to decide the number one contenders for the tag belts. He also calls Jarrett Triple J and reminds him that tonight he's facing AJ Styles, and Watts has AJ's back in that match. Talking of back, AJ sneak attacks Jarrett in the back. The fight is on as 20 men struggle to keep them apart. A weird segment airs where Tracy Brooks and Goldilocks argue over who runs TNA. It's very childish and goes on forever. Tracy says Eric Watts has been fired from TNA. Weird way to break that news. Interview now with Sonjay and Sabin. Sonjay talks about his rise up the company. Sabin suggests we should have a second Ultimate X match. Sign me up. Out now, it's the new franchise. Shane Douglas and Shawn Michaels, cousin Michael Shane. They face Sonjay and Sabin. Douglas has a funny square off with a fan before it starts. Sonjay quickly goes sprinting off the ropes into a moonsault on Shane. Douglas and Sabin square off with Douglas cackling every time he barges Sabin down. Some cheating from the outside helps the franchise team stay on top. Douglas hits 3 suplexes in a row on crisp Sabin. Michael Shane is in now, hitting a backbreaker and an overhead release suplex. Sabin also does one and manages to tag out. Sonjay has a pretty nice hot tag here, but I can't get over how small he looks in there. Sabin springs back into the ring for double springboard dropkick. The match has broken down. Douglas press slams Sonjay onto his nutsack. Sonjay sends Douglas over the top rope and connects with a diving elbow drop. Chris Sabin tries to follow Douglas out the ring with a dive, but he pretty much misses it. The match ends when Tracy Brooks interferes with the pie in the sky, and Shawn Michaels' cousin hits Sweet Chin Music for the free. The Dorks try to beat Sabin up after the match, but they fail, and he double DDTs him. Sonjay also hits an assisted moonsault. Tracy screams, "What was that?" "I have no idea, love."
NWA Impact brings you the Smack of the Week, sponsored by All New Blonde for Men. If you're a brown-haired Potter, put some blonde in it. It makes you look hotter.
Oh man, what's this chick Tracy with an eye doing on the top row? Oh, she hits the pie in the sky. That's certainly a cream pie I'd like to taste for my dinner, man. Oh, it's Shawn Michaels' cousin chewing up the band. There it is, Sweet Chin Music. Fart break kid suddenly knows how to use it.
That was the NwA TNA Smack of the Week, sponsored by Blonde Just for Men. Get it? Got it? Shove it.
In the back, the world's most annoying stable are arguing. The Diamond Man is unhappy that Gilberti wants a tag team title shot. Swinger reminds Gilberti that he was white hot and held the tag belt for 4 months. Gilberti says it's all a trick so all 4 of them can take out America's Most Wanted tonight. Someone calls David Young an idiot. I love how Disco's big head covers up the cab driver the entire interview. Now we get a reminder about how the masked man X was really good for like a few weeks before TNA screwed him up. Mike Tenay is showing us where X fell on the floor in a past match. Watts has randomly put X in a match. For those of you who don't know, this is Pierre Cartoulette under a mask. He's taken on Don Harris. God, this roster is the drizzling shits. Don Harris is beating him up on the outside and hits him with a chair for absolutely no reason. Because this is TNA, that leads to X waking up and he starts a comeback. X hits a side slam and climbs to the top to hit a leg drop. The Harris brother kicks out. X flies from the other corner with a swanton bomb, but the Harris boy kicks out.
Dude, I was watching the NwA TNA show the other day, man, and this dude, X, he stole my swanton bomb finish maneuver, man, but it didn't finish. Man, I'm going back to North Carolina, and I'm going to tell my stoner friend Shannon all about you, X-Man.
X fails on a package pile driver as the crowd come alive for Don Harris. All he does is clotheslines and a big boot. He's about to chokeslam X when Kid Cash distracts him. He throws a chain to X and he promptly smacks Harris in the head for the free. I'm not really sure what this did for anybody. Is Don Harris going to have an incredible feud with Kid Cash now? Is this win by cheating over a jobber going to help X? Kid Cash and another jobber called Chris Vaughn fight until Cash hits him with a chain. As usual, Kid Cash runs away from Don Harris. In the back, Daniels and Low-Key are fighting. Daniels wishes him good luck next week against Michael Shane. Very polite of Daniels. The 3-way tag match is next. It's the How Is He Gifted man and the Cab Driver man taking on the New York Numpties and America's Most Wanted. The gifted cab drivers watch on as America's Most Wanted beat up the New York guys in the outside. Eventually, the New York nerds argue with their friends for not helping them. Harris dives on all 4 of them. There seems to be a real effort on this show to make Harris stand out over Storm. All 4 are still arguing and fighting. We get in the ring for the first time, but only for a moment before more arguing between this foursome. AMW hit double drop kicks on the Diamond Man for a 2. Finally, all 4 men get on the same page as they isolate James Storm. Young and Swinger hit a double flapjack on Storm for a 2. This match does seem to be serving a purpose to make AMW seem stronger. They keep almost winning, but the numbers are against them. The New York Nerds hit a double flatliner on Chris Harris, who manages to kick out, just about. David Young rushes the ring and pushes Diamond out of the way to hit the Cab Driver Slam. The Cab Driver Slam, it's over. No, it's not, because Young is dragged off the pin. The infighting in this group cost them when James Storm hits the super kick for the free. Long time coming for AMW to get another tag title shot. In the back, Scott Hudson is with Raven and the Gathering. Raven keeps repeating that for one night only the Gathering and Raven will team together. Punk and Julio still feel like needy ex-girlfriends. At least Raven brags about breaking the Terminator's arm and getting rid of him. That is something to brag about. 6-man tag match now between the Red Shirts and Abyss and Raven and the Gathering. Julio and Punk are both equally impressive in their own rights in the early going. Legend cheats to turn the match for the Hills. The Red Shirts hit a nice clothesline back suplex combination to Punk. Northcutt also hits a pump handle release suplex. Pepsi Punk's getting Sonny Siaki's ass handed to him. Talking of which, where's that guy been recently? Raven eventually gets the tag and he does a bunch of clotheslines and bulldogs. Raven has a super kick for Abyss as Julio fails to clothesline the red shirts out the ring. Raven hits the Raisin effect on Abyss, but no ref. A bunch of distractions allows Abyss to hit a spear into a chair on Raven. That is enough to beat the man called Raisin. In the post-match, Punk and Julio manage to get some revenge against Abyss with dropkicks, but he returns and double choke slams them. The red shirt security are bad winners and attack Raven. Abyss also hits the black hole slam and they're about to smack Raven with handcuffs before the Gathering make the save. Nice little match right there, to be fair. An update from Roddy Piper now. God, these segments are strange. He says he's coming back to TNA next week with some backup. Thanks for coming, Roddy. We have half an hour left of the show, but the main event is up next, so it's either really good or really stupid. AJ Styles challenges for the world title belonging to Slapnuts. As the match starts, Mike TNA reveals that Hulk Hogan hasn't been able to recover from his knee surgery, so I guess that's where this amazing storyline with Jarrett has ended. The match starts extremely slowly with AJ working a side headlock. Jarrett shows off some athleticism before AJ catches him with a DDT. AJ is desperate to avoid the Jarrett crowd brawling and fights to stay in the ring, but his dropkick fails and Jarrett does the strut. Despite AJ's desperation to not fight on the outside, they end up on the ramp. AJ hits a suplex out there on the ramp. Styles then throws Jarrett off the ramp over a rail, but he ain't done and takes a running dive off the stage. No, Jarrett creams him with a chair. I can't help but feel that the camera angle let that dive down. Jarrett is in his element now, beating AJ Styles in the crowd with a chair. The crowd desperately chant for Hogan. Jarrett does a rare dive out of the ring on this one. He gets a pretty good reaction from the crowd. Jarrett tells Mike TNA that's the X Division. I'm really enjoying this match. There's no bullshit, it's just two men wrestling their hearts out. Just as I say that, AJ hits a powerbomb with Don Callis pulling Jarrett's foot onto the rope. Eric Watts can't accept that and has to take out Don Callis. That distracts the ref as Jeff is handed a guitar, but AJ kicks the guitar away. The match stops as AJ throws a tantrum about the guitar being used, and this again distracts the ref as Eric Watts chokeslams Double J. Just a 2. Jarrett also has a powerbomb for Styles as we get a double down. The red shirt wankers and the Gathering are brawling around the ring. This was honestly going so well, and now it's ruined. AMW will also fight in Abyss. Why would everyone be so desperate for Slappy to be a champion? Then there's a ref bump. AJ has it won with a small package, but no ref. Out of the blue, Jimmy Hart appears in a referee's shirt. AJ nails a super kick and a springboard senton. Just as Hart is about to count the 3, Kid Cash randomly drags him out of the ring. Cash tries to smash a guitar on AJ but can't manage it, and AJ takes him out of a Styles Clash, but when he gets up he turns around into a guitar shot from Jarrett. That's the 3. In the back, Raven threatens Abyss and says he'll give him internal hemorrhaging in the ass. What a way to end the show. I hate this show so much, and almost every wrestler on this show sucks. This show makes me want to throw a brick through someone's window, and I'm only halfway through this one today. I can do this, I've been through worse. It wasn't exactly easy sleeping with your bitch girlfriend, but I did it. Tough times make tough men. Or Hawks. Show 2 starts with a memorial to Jerry Toot, aka Malice, aka The Wolf. What a force he was for the first TNA shows. Jarrett is giving a speech to his troops. In the other locker room, the good guys are sitting around looking miserable because Eric Watts is late for their meeting. When he turns up, Harris confronts him and is desperate to know who Roddy Piper is bringing with him tonight. CM Punk wants to know if the rumours are true that Watts has been fired. This storyline makes zero sense. Why would he be making matches and be on TV if he's been fired? Kid Cash is the first man out. Oh no, not Don Harris again. Why does he suddenly have his own intro package? Oh no, again the red shirts are brawling with Don on the ramp. They batter Don Harris and roll him into the ring. Harris doesn't exactly make for a sympathetic babyface. Whose idea was any of this? Anyway, Don Harris fights back and nobody cares. Harris throws a chair into Cash's face. Back in the ring, Harris nails a spinning back suplex when the red shirts reappear. The ref is distracted, and Jeff Jarrett smacks Don Harris with a guitar. Kid Cash wins. Jarrett says that anybody who doesn't declare allegiance to him tonight will get the same treatment. AJ Styles along with a steel chair run the Goon Squad off. They've got AJ Styles surrounded though until Roddy Piper's music hits. A bagpipe crew roll into the arena. They walk around playing their music as Jarrett's crew dump in their nappies with fear. The lights go out and here's the Hot Rod. He cuts a promo saying he's taking the NWA back from Slapnuts. A sign in the crowd says smells like WCW. He runs down Jarrett for attacking so many people. Jarrett says Piper has never got the job done and says he's going to be top of Jarrett's victim list tonight. A big fight is about to go down when D'Lo Brown makes his TNA return with new DMX music. Piper beats up the red shirts and hits them with an NWA flag. Eric Watts also cuts a promo saying that he knows Jarrett is trying to remove him from his position of power. He makes a match with Jarrett and a mystery partner versus AJ Styles and D'Lo for the main event. Piper will be ringside for that match. That was a fun little segment, and they used what little star power this company has left at this point. It sure makes a difference. In the back, America's Most Wanted talk about their tag title match tonight. Harris reminds us that they've been waiting for 4 months for this chance. Storm's promo is actually better, despite TNA trying to limit his mic time compared to Harris. X Division title match up next. Christopher Daniels has taken the place of Loki in this match. I'm not sure how attacking someone backstage makes you a #1 contender. He faces Michael Shane in yet another Who Are We Supposed to Cheer For match. Because Michael Shane has a manager, I guess he becomes the de facto heel in this match. The crowd are in silence for this one. The only thing that gets a noise out of them is when Tracy interferes with the pie in the sky. Daniels pulls down her trousers and spanks her, allowing Shane to hit the super kick. That isn't actually the end though. Shane is about to hit Daniels with a chain when Sabin causes a distraction. Daniels smacks Michael Shane with the chain, but the ref spots it and DQs Daniels. Not the sort of match you'd ever want to see again. In the back, Scott Hudson has the 3 Live crew. Conrad says that his team do not fear America's Most Wanted. The dog calls them America's Most Whiny. Randomly, Disco walks up and once again asks them to join Jarrett's team in this war. He offers to help them keep their tag belts. Disco is no longer interested in his former New York Nerds tag team. Road Dogg tells them to go and debate same-sex marriage on someone else's time. This argument goes on for a very long time. Why do these people get so much TV time? The tag title match is up next. America's Most Wanted face the champions, the 3 Live crew. As with all the 3 Live crew matches, it's only good when the truth is in there. He hits a thrusting power slam, a stunner and a nice kick. The issue with this match is the same as the last match. There's no clear person to cheer for. It's poorly planned. James Storm finally hits a DDT on the Moldy one for a double down. Tags are made. AMW have it won with a heart attack, but the pin is broken up. The Truth almost wins for his team when all the New York Nerds arrive at ringside. Truth and Storm take them out with dives. Back in the ring, there's a ref bump and Harris hits a spear. Harris now has a sharpshooter on, but the gifted one climbs in the ring and hits Harris with a chair. Truth nails the scissors kick and that's the 3. Wow, we waited 4 months for this. In the back, Slapnuts is asked who will be his partner tonight. He doesn't seem to have any idea. As usual, the Gathering are told that their reunion with Raven was only for 1 week. Punk is very sure that Raven loves them though. When will these red shirt wankers just go away? These guys are the definition of change the channel heat. They have horrible music, they're boring, and they're just a security team. They face Julio and Punk. At least the red shirts do that nice clothesline back suplex combination again. I like that move. They also do a giant swing into a dropkick, which is another nice move. Punk tries the roll-up win, but the ref has ADHD as usual and is distracted. Legend kicks Pepsi Punk down for a 2. The punishment continues with Northcutter hitting a half Nelson suplex. It's quite similar to Punk's last match with him taking all the damage and being isolated. Eventually Julio does get the tag and wins off a lucky roll-up without him really doing much in this match. It makes a refreshing change that there's no post-match beatdown. In the back, the new franchise declare that they aren't going to reveal if they're with Jeff Jarrett or not. Of course you're with Jeff Jarrett. It's not as if Douglas is going to do anything different. Douglas does confirm that Ultimate X2 will be happening though. Remember on the last video when I asked how TNA could possibly run a Girls of TNA calendar when they don't really have any girls? Yeah, I don't blame you if you don't remember me saying that. But it turns out that the girls are just the cage dancers, or at least I think they are. I didn't recognise anybody. Shane Douglas and Tracy make their way out. He's having a match against Crisp Sabin. Douglas keeps chopping him and yelling "Hell Sabin." Sabin gets angry and Inzaguri kicks him. Douglas connects for a middle rope suplex. Mike Tenay tells us that Sabin was 1 year old when Douglas made his in-ring debut in a barbed wire match. Predictably, Sabin has to end up fighting the rest of Douglas's crew. For the 3rd match in a row, Tracy is in the ring. Douglas squashes her by accident and then Sabin beats Douglas with a nice pin whilst Douglas squirts piss down his legs. In the back, it's AJ Styles, D'Lo and Roddy Piper. D'Lo looks like he spent his time off eating. AJ Styles only has one word, which is revenge. D'Lo says he was begged to come back to TNA, but he refused to come back until there was a place for Roddy Piper in TNA. He also respects AJ Styles despite their past matches. Piper says no one better piss him off tonight. Next up, the Monster Abyss will fight the man called Raisin. Could be a good match if they don't have 50 people in Sphere, but this is TNA and we all know what's going to happen. This match seems to resemble a Jeff Jarrett match with all the crowd brawling and chair shots. They do return to the ring with a table getting set up. Abyss comes close with the shock treatment backbreaker. Raven slips out of another and hits a bulldog. Oh, here we go. Legend is here causing a referee distraction. That distraction enables Abyss to spear Raven through a table. Legend returns, but again he's taken out. Raven hits the Raisin effect when for the third time Legend interferes and pulls the ref out of the ring. The other security member Northcutt teleports into the ring, hitting a sloppy suplex on Raven. The referee returns, but it's just the two. Raven wakes up and super kicks Abyss out of the ring when the red shirts just climb into the ring just attack him. The ref has finally come to his senses and rings the bell. Raven's ex-girlfriend saves him from a further beatdown. Raven still has time to cut a promo where he says Abyss's finisher isn't that good because he's still standing. Raven asks for a cage match next week. Not sure if that's for everyone or just him and Abyss. Don Callis promo now. He talks about the power struggle with Eric Watts. He says it's proof that Watts is insane for bringing a man like Roddy Piper into TNA. It's actually a very good promo. Shame a wrestler can't do a promo like Don Callis. Just the main event tag left. Jeff Jarrett and his mystery partner, who turns out to be Kid Cash. Hang on, has he already had a match tonight? Seems like a strange choice. D'Lo Brown makes his way out to his awesome new music. His partner is of course the phenomenal AJ Styles. Piper is the special enforcer. Within seconds, AJ flies into the ring with a forearm on Jarrett. Cash tries to spring into the ring too, but gets a double dropkick. What a start to this match. D'Lo throws his own partner out the ring onto the ramp, and then back in the ring, the double teaming continues with D'Lo throwing AJ into a dropkick on Cash. It's pure dominance here as AJ also lands a dropkick on Slappy. Surprisingly, it's Cash who manages to turn the match on its head when he hits that big shoulder breaker again. D'Lo looks extra motivated here once he gets the tag. He squashes Kid Cash with a 3/4 net breaker for a 2. Jarrett takes a cheap shot which sets Kid Cash up for a springboard somersault dropkick. AJ can't stand the cheating and he hits the inverted DDT. He fights off a stroke attempt, but he gets turned inside out with a clothesline. And then moments later, AJ and D'Lo double team Slapnuts again with Cash just about making the save. Jarrett desperately tries to bring a chair into the match which distracts the referee. Piper smacks Kid Cash with a flag which allows AJ Styles to hit a top rope Styles Clash. Jarrett is livid at the loss and can't believe it. Excellent match, and that was interference done correctly. It was just once and it didn't piss anyone off too much because the match was filled with so much fun and awesome moves. Jarrett is really dumping in his nappy of anger at Kid Cash for losing. The crowd chant Hogan. Out walks Eric Watts. It's not quite the same thing, is it? He says this hasn't been settled and sets up a match for next week with Jarrett's title on the line, and the challenger will be the Icon Sting. Jarrett keeps saying no, the title isn't on the line, and Watts keeps saying yes it is. The commentary team are confused and it ends. Who has the power? Who has the control? Who could possibly care? These shows are taking years off my life, and if you don't agree with that, I'll take your wife.